A219 here. Thank you for joining me. And we have an unboxing of a firearm. As you see here, it's from Rock Island Armory, not to get mixed up with Rock River Arms. This is a different company. Rock Island Armory has been around for quite a while. They make a lot of guns that are in a pretty good budget for 1911s to, shotguns, things like that. They make a very well-balanced firearm line, and a lot of it's made in the Philippines. That's where you see a lot of those RI 1911s where you can interchange with Wilson combat parts, so on and so forth. So let's get into this one. We'll open it up here. It comes with a it looks like they shot 2 rounds out of the factory, 1 magazine, and let me get the gun out of here because this gun is awful gooey. Alright, I had to go run and grab a cloth real quick. I mean, this thing is absolutely gooey to a T. We'll just clean it up a little bit here. So I don't want to get it on my sweatshirt or anything here. But again, I just purchased this gun today with a little bit of extra cash that I had due to good circumstances. So what we have here is a 1911. If you've been around the channel for a while, I've always expressed people to go get a 1911. Go get one, put it in your collection. Doesn't matter who it's from, unless it's Springfield, because they're very anti-gun in some of their policies, so I never buy Springfields off the shelf. But other than that, you should have a 1911 in your collection. I had a Springfield range officer that I bought secondhand. I didn't buy it from them or a gun shop. Somebody was a little hard up for cash, so I got a good deal on it. Ended up trading that gun away for a Winchester 1400 and a little bit of scratch, a little bit of extra scratch. So I didn't have a 1911. So I went and purchased another 1911 today, and this one again is from Rock Island Armory. It comes with all your basic stuff there, your lock, your keys, and all that stuff. So let's get that out of the way. And one thing that's a disappointment right off the get-go is just the 1 magazine. 1 magazine, I think companies should throw in an extra magazine. It's not that hard to throw in an extra magazine to kind of, keep customer base satisfied. A lot of people are coming with their polymer guns like Glock, and they're throwing 3 magazines in there. Some people, you can get 4 magazines. Some people like Smith & Wesson put a package together where you get 7 magazines. It's just, I mean, if you got to pay for it, you got to pay for it. But I mean, in this day and age, you should be really looking at that. Again, this is a little bit of an older model, so maybe, I mean, this is one of the stems from back in the day, but I couldn't tell you. But here we go. Basic 1911 configuration. What makes this gun different is it's in 10 millimeter. Like 45's cool. Again, I've had one, but I wanted to get a 45 and I wanted to get it in 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter seems to be the handgun of the year coming up here, along with 5.7 by 28, the Rock from PSA. Then you had the Ruger. Then they made a carbine version. And then you have, of course, FN's models of those guns. So that seems to be the theme nowadays, is 10 millimeter or something in 5.7. So again, just standard basic 1911 controls, safety, grip safety here in the back. This is just a plain Jane. Again, I'm not into, tricking out guns and all that jazz. I'm not into that. So I have another 1911 in the collection. Magazine seats in there. Feels good in the hand. The only thing about this one, when you buy these plain Janes, there's Tias makes one. It's like got a gray finish on it with wood grips on it. The sights are not adjustable. They're milled into the slide. So these are milled into the slide. So you can't really do anything with them, but focus on using them, because you can't adjust them for windage or elevation or anything else like the newer guns have here. It has some of these, I don't know if that's just all the goo on this gun or what, but it seems to be just like maybe polymer grips on there. It feels good in the hand. Again, you got the little bit of an extended beaver tail here on the end. I don't have large hands, so I don't have to worry about slide bite. But again, it's in, if I can get my camera to focus, 10 millimeter. Found some 10 millimeter. Let's talk about that for a second. So the difference between 45 and 10 millimeter, we all know the ballistics, but the price range for ammunition right now is really dramatic compared to 45 and 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter is hard to find in my area. I don't know where you live, so I can't tell what your consensus is of whether you can find it or not. I found this at the same place I picked up this at the local. This center fire stuff, I've never messed with it. We don't sell this at work, but I've seen it around. Brass case, flat tip, projectile here. I don't know what they have for. It's 125 grains. I don't quite know the feet per second if they're going to give it to me here on the box. Yeah, oh, here we go. No, it just says 125 grains. I'm going to have to look up and see what I get for the speed of these projectiles being shot out of a 10 millimeter. So, again, this is just a basic model, 1911. Same dimensions as, any of those other, military style 1911s that have come up. Pretty plain and basic. Feels good in the hand. I really like it. Again, I sold my other 1911 and traded it off, so I had to put another one in the collection. Now we're gonna probably shoot this, but it's not gonna be for a hot minute. So give me some time, because I'm gonna have to readjust my targets and what I'm shooting at. Some of my stuff says it is rated up to 357 hot loads. But again, I mean, when you shoot steel a lot, the steel becomes fragile. So I don't want any kinds of mishaps. So we might go to a designated other place where the steel might be in a little bit better shape, and then we'll go after this and we'll shoot a box of this stuff in there. Unless I go to a different place and find more 10 millimeter ammunition. We were getting, I think it was the Ammo Inc. stuff at work, but that's all gone, and I haven't seen 10 millimeters since. So in my shop, so I'll have to go dig around in different other places, maybe in the other city, and try and check out and see if those gun shops there have 10 millimeter. But 10 millimeter is a pretty healthy round. A lot of people talk about bear country stuff or hiking or woods applications. Here in the state of Indiana, you can hunt with 10 millimeter. So again, another reason why I bought this gun. So I'm going to have two handguns that I can try. I have the Model 19, and I have this gun now. Model 19 is chambered in 357. This is chambered in 10 millimeter. So I can use both of those calibers to hunt. I'm going to give a shot and try and hunt with a handgun this year instead of using the classic rifles or shotguns, things like that. I've really enjoyed bow hunting for the most part, as long as the animal doesn't run 600 yards. It's pretty cool to do that. So there's a lot of things I'm going to do with this gun here in the future. Again, I don't want to start throwing out prices. We're sitting around like 400, and I think it was what, 460, 475 clamshells. So it's very affordable. You can really find these available in a lot of places in 45. It's kind of odd to find them in 10 millimeter, but when you do, I highly recommend it. There's probably some other updated versions of the gun where you get slide serrations in the front, and then, adjustable sights, and then probably some other different grips. These kind of feel rubbery right here for the most part, but I got so much goo on my hands right now. But these kind of feel rubberized. Again, just a basic 1911 that you see on your local store shelves. Has a logo up there. Not much more to really go. The rear serrations, they work. They're doable. The barrel, let's make sure you don't freak out. Clear. As you can see, the barrel here. Again, these are mostly made in the Philippines, and they do a pretty good job. You got your bushing right there. I think there's a bushing in there. Haven't quite figured it out. I don't, well, it might not even have a bushing. Looking through their box here, it may. Again, I just bought this gun recently, so I haven't really messed around. It doesn't look like I have to mess with bushings for takedown. Probably the same takedown as, you know, normal 1911s that have it. I think it might have a, no, doesn't have a magazine disconnect. Again, it only came with one mag, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 8 rounds of 10 millimeter. I don't like this part here, down here. This is probably for stripping out magazines if you have, you know, malfunctions, so on and so forth. Just kind of makes the gun odd. You know, it's not really flush like you see in other ones, other 1911s. But again, I'm not a stranger to black finished guns. I think they look pretty slick, and I think this one looks slick. I have some other 1911 grips that I'm probably going to put on there. I don't know if that's on the channel or not, but there was a video a long time ago when me and Night Strike were down in Tulsa, and he was going through some of the tables down there, and he found some old rack grips from a true World War II 1911, and I still have them today. So I might put them on here just for S's and G's, and I have another pair of 1911 grips. I think they're Punisher grips that I could put on this gun as well. Again, I don't know how finicky YouTube is going to be about, you know, showing you, you know, putting on new grips and stuff. Terms and, you know, policies have really changed on YouTube, so might just be like, here's these grips, and then fast forward and then already be on the gun, so we don't have to get in any kind of trouble with YouTube. But again, the gun's pretty nice. It's just nice in my hand. 10 mil. I have shot 10 millimeter. I was kind of intrigued by it. You know, a lot of people think it's fuddish, but I have a lot of applications that I can do with 10 millimeter right now, and one of them's hunting, so I'd really like to try this out. Again, the sights aren't nothing to write home about if I can give it to you like that. I mean, there's really nothing there. Might put a little bit of, you know, nail polish or something to kind of brighten that sight up, because again, if you're shooting, you know, if you're shooting deer, you know, before sunrise, because you can do that, you know, 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. You really want to hunt with a handgun. You really want to put the round in the sweet spot. You don't want to miss and scare them off, because they may not come back. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But that's what I purchased. I don't know what they call it though. Let me look on the box. They call it the M1911 A1. So that's what they call this model. Again, 10 millimeters pretty cool. A lot of guns are being chambered in it right now. It seems to be the fad right now is the 10 millimeter and the 5.7. But I've always wanted a 10 millimeter. There's a lot of other really nice 10 millimeters that have come out here recently, and some that are really subpar, you know, under $1,000. You'll just have to find them. Again, a lot of these new guns that have been showing up at SHOT Show and then being dispersed across the country into distributors, they haven't really shown up here in my area. Again, my area is not like your area. The 510 from FN, and then their 10 millimeter and their 45 caliber guns, I haven't seen any of those in the area. I've seen more of their 9 millimeter stuff here recently than any of the new stuff that FN has come out with. So again, I wanted another 1911. I had a couple of other opportunities to pick up a 1911, but this one was chambered in 10 millimeter, and that's why I got it. I could have bought a Springfield, but I don't give that company any money. And then I could have bought some of their standard, you know, 45 ACP guns, but this one's chambered in 10, so let's give 10 millimeter a try. Plus, I'm gonna probably use it for hunting application this year, so it's gonna be fun. Again, give me a little bit of time. Go and talk to somebody that I know has a personal range, and we'll go there and shoot steel there, or shoot targets, whatever's clever. Maybe we'll do that here, but I'm really going to have to, you know, check my steel, because 10 millimeter, I don't know. Again, they're not telling me any kind of specs or anything. I'm going to have to look and see how hot that round is that they got coming out in these boxes. Again, this stuff wasn't cheap either. This is like 30 clams a box. 10 millimeter, again, is not cheap. But I like it. It's something more different than a traditional 45 ACP gun. So the Rock Island M1911 A1. So it's just a basic 1911 configuration. So with all that being said, I'd like to thank my old and my new subscribers, and just the people that zip through. Greatly appreciate it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for me. Like always, we'll catch you on the next one.